hands on you so everyone can see what's actually happening. There we go. Hello everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There. Yep. Everything should be good now. Yeah. Okay. So we're resuming. Yeah, we're resuming the drawing. I did some process from when it was lost on. Yeah. Oh, we also reached a new circle. Hi Jeff. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Jeffy. Did that one not resize the thing? Yeah. Yeah, so I did some work on the skin, the apple, and a little extra on the hair since I lost time. Today we're gonna work on the clothes, the eyes, and some rendering. And then if they still, by some miracle, sometime we'll do a next one. Although I doubt we'll finish this all today even. Yep. And also I found out that we can add new power-ups with the bits, so I've added some extra ones, although those ones are still ones that are going to be in the redeems, like the normal channel points, but also you can get them cheaper. I might add one for like a mini commission sort of thing, like suggesting art, like suggest a character to draw type of thing. So that's fine. Yep. Can't think anything else. The dogs aren't with me right now. They're with my mom. Hello, welcome, Steve. Nice to see you in. Yeah, oh wait, I need to start drawing already. Yeah, we did have this, so we can get that. Actually, that's a bit dark, but we'll see what we do. We've done the skin and everything like that into that one. Yeah, we also added some shadow over here so that she can look out of place. She looked a little out of place at the time. Yeah, so where's our clothing layers? We can probably do them all at once to make it quicker. Next thing is, do I want to do like a linear burn, or there's different ways you can make it look. Like if you do linear burn, it's like, oh, Minecraft mod. That's nice. I love playing mod. Well, what sort of mod is it gonna be? Really? Oh my word, I love prehistoric stuff. But do we get chased by it? I don't like being chased by things. I'm kind of scared of that. But, oh my word, I would literally, I love to like check that out, honestly. I really adore prehistoric wildlife and like animals. One of my favorite, like I just like extinct things for some reason. If it's not currently with us, I'm probably interested in it to some extent. Like you have your Titanoboa, and what were the snakes that were found out to be bigger than Titanoboa? Something with an M. I forgot what they're called, but they're really cool. Oh, Matsuede. Yeah, they were called Matsuede. Those are like so cool. They were bigger than the Titanoboa, and like I think they're around India. No, Jeff, you know that you're banned from death. You can't be extinct. I don't do extinct people. And terror birds are really cool too, because oh, Rhinoraptorus and oh, those. What do you mean by obscure? I haven't heard of those. Yeah, DM me like in my Discord or something. Like if there's any documentaries on those. I'm a huge fan of any prehistoric documentaries because there's never enough. People just want to focus on other things. Yes, of course I know about the extinction of the dinos. Everyone. Nope, don't know that one. I don't know much about the obscure stuff because I learn about things through documentaries usually. I will just watch tons of documentaries on one topic until I know a lot about it, or as much as I can know. But if there's no documentaries on YouTube about it, I can't learn very well because I'm not going to find the information in the first place. A prehistoric kiwi. That is cool. Yeah. But like that's the sad thing is that people don't make enough documentaries about like videos on prehistoric stuff. And if there's not a documentary or like a cool YouTube video, I can't find the information. It's I like to listen to documentaries while I draw sometimes. World War II documentaries, prehistoric animal documentaries, even documentaries about snakes. I wouldn't call them quite documentaries always, but I like the information. Don't ask where I got that information. Oh, you can probably find it in my past videos. It's pretty easy to find the information if me liking it if you know where to look. I can get a little obsessive. But yeah, I find all of it very fascinating. I don't know why not enough people are into it. Because the past is so amazing if you would find out everything that was alive before we were. Or even like was alive but like during our ancestors' times, like cave lions. Those were terrifying. I think there were cave lions, cave leopards. Was there a cave cheetah? I don't remember if there was a cave cheetah. And I think cave hyenas. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I do remember seeing your name in a stream. I'm really good at remembering that I've seen something. I'm just not good at remembering where I saw it. Honestly, my absolute favorite documentary series of all time. Well, it is a little outdated with some of the facts. Has to be prehistoric predators. It's from the 2000s. And it exposed me to a lot of the yeah, I think I've talked with a lot of you about extinction stuff. But yeah, so that series then introduced me to a lot of stuff like giant sloth bears. Was it giant? Yeah, Megatherium and the dire wolf. A bit more with saber-toothed tigers and like them being in packs. Also, the pig from hell. What was the pig from hell? OMG, thank you! I'm so glad that I'm cool. Because no one will classify me as scary no matter how hard I try. So cool's the next best thing. Evil was also ticked off the list as not happening by everyone. So, trying to remember what the pig from hell's name was. It was weird. Entelodont. Yes, it was an entelodont. Like, there was just a lot of really nice animals in the front, and hyenodons. And there was also one on the terror bird. I love terror birds. Because they were like kind of the second coming of the dinosaurs. Well, as close as you get to that. Because technically birds are classified as dinosaurs, although they did verge off before the T-Rex sort of thing. So I believe I've heard something that they could have been birds around the dinosaur time already. You have an entelodont in your mod? Now I really need to see that. The thing about the entelodont though, was either the entelodont or the hyenodont, is that some of the information in the documentary was a bit wrong, but at the time it was correct information when it was made. A lot of new information. Oculentavus. That sounds like a type of bird, like a terror bird, but I don't know if that is. I want to learn more about like prehistoric stuff. I need to learn more. Like I need to know this is obscure stuff too. Still, honestly, I wanted to be a paleontologist when I was a kid. Yeah, before I went to like before I didn't know what I wanted to do, and then went into law later on. Well, I got interested in law probably, yeah, around high school, but I wanted to be a paleontologist before that. The only reason that I didn't go with paleontology is because I realized I wouldn't like the hot sun, and there would be bugs in the dirt, and I can't handle bugs. And then we realized, oh yeah, paleontology is probably not going to work if I can't do my job. That was the same reason I couldn't be a game ranger. But a really small bird. That sounds interesting. Yeah, I'd be great at it if I didn't run away from spiders, bugs, ants, and anything that lives on the ground, essentially. The Arthroplera. Darn it, I still need to find out so much. There's a lot of stuff, obviously. But Arthro. Ground. Something in the ground. Yeah, it would follow me. Not great. Oh, but I do love dinosaurs a lot. But obviously, you can't just fixate on just the dinosaurs. You got to branch out. My favorite dinosaur is the Diplodocus. There's not really a reason for it. Jawless fish. Interesting. I haven't done much of their names, but I find the bony, like the giant jawfish, so fascinating. I don't really know much about them, but I would love to know more about them. But like in my Discord, I will literally put it here. If anyone has good prehistoric documentaries, I would love to get more, please. Like if you have a prehistoric documentary for me, I will watch it. If it's not AI. If it's AI, we're gonna have an issue. Because the AI stuff is so boring. They just can't keep me hooked. I have beef with the amount of like AI history documentaries that are kind of taking over YouTube at times in like the history area. Because you want to go and watch a World War II documentary. You want to go and get like a new area like I'm not gonna burn them alive because I'm just gonna pretend that they didn't know what they were sending and that they were deceived. Like, it's really hard. It's really hard to figure out if something is AI. Unless you have listened to it enough. And while also listening to normal, you're not getting burned alive, Jeff. But if you don't listen to enough normal stuff while throwing in all of the AI stuff between it, you will not realize that something is AI. But if you watch normal documentaries and then you watch AI and then a few normal, then a few AI, you will start to notice that it's AI. Because the voice, the images, it will just start to feel creepy, like uncanny valley vibes. And it will just feel off, and soon enough you'll realize, wait a minute, this is AI. Or you go to the comments and they tell you, oh, there's cyber hyperspace. Welcome in. Yes, all the fears. Although, to be fair, the AI is still a little bit better, just only by a smidge, than whatever's on the History Channel. I still have beef with the History Channel. Ichthyosaurs. I love ichthyosaurs. They're so cool. You know, so I had this like period of like absolute intense fascination with the Loch Ness Monster. Obviously, valid. But so when I started getting back into dinosaurs, because I've always loved dinosaurs, but you have your periods where you're like really into it, and then you're sometimes into something else for a little bit. So then I went dinosaurs, but then obviously the stuff surrounding dinosaurs as well in the era. And then I found out about like ichthyosaurs, and obviously that went on to plesiosaurs. And then my head started saying, wait a minute, what if the Loch Ness Monster is a plesiosaur? So then for a while I was convinced that was a plesiosaur. I mean, it could be, but I just don't think we're going to have a breeding population of plesiosaurs that have not been spotted in the Loch Ness. Could not be found with the like sonar and whatever technology. So it is sad, but it might just have been a lot of hoaxes. I don't want to think that. For me, cryptid stuff is very fascinating, but even more so if you can link the cryptids to like a potentially like previously thought to be extinct animal. That's when it gets really cool. Or like a tribe of people who've managed to become really hidden, which is like a very fascinating stuff to go into. I wouldn't call myself superstitious at all. I'm not really into that, but I'm very interested in things that we thought being were extinct being not extinct. Like obviously we all live in a lot of us live in South Africa, I'm aware. So for us it would be like the coelacanth, which I don't know how interesting the coelacanth is. It never quite got my interest entirely, except for the fact that it was thought to be extinct and then was found to be alive. It was thought to be like millions of years ago extinct and then popped up alive. I know, right? Like, it is crazy when you actually go into how big sauropods are. Like, you think that it's just gonna be maybe the size of your house. Except, there's a chance they could have been even bigger than your house. And then I'm like, that's just crazy. And then you get stuff like parasithemia, paraserathemia. Turns out I can't pronounce things that I thought I could pronounce because I only read the words and I never actually tried saying. But yeah, paraserathemia That thing was a massive. I think that was like a relative of rhinos. That's the thing though. Like, I remember watching this really cool video on YouTube. I'm gonna, you know what, we're gonna do on my channel. We're gonna make, in my Discord, I am now going to go and I'm going to make a prehistoric stuff channel. Yep, I now have a channel just for, no, I accidentally took out my order. That's annoying. Great. No, there we go. Exactly. Oh, it wasn't supposed to be discussions. We need to take out the discussions part because I also want to use that just to send videos whenever I want to. So now I can send all my dinosaur documentaries. But yeah, Jeff, dinosaurs had feathers. At least theropods. That is no longer controversial. Although I would imagine sauropods would not have feathers. I can't imagine a feathery sauropod. But if someone gave me evidence of a feathery sauropod, I would believe it if I got evidence. But yeah, giant sloths are really, really amazing. And they're probably pretty deadly. Think about their claws. I believe sloth bear. Oh yeah, sloth bears I think do cause some damage. So giant sloths would have been quite the formidable thing. I believe they were herbivores, but considering they were on the list, they must be prehistoric predators. I think they did some damage. Ooh. Yes, sure. Jeff, you can be a tiny velociraptor. Oh, that's interesting. Avian dinosaurs with feathers, obviously, and the non-avian dinosaurs with feathers. That is an interesting thing. But yeah, I do remember back when it was controversial to consider dinosaurs to have feathers. I mean, maybe I was late to it because I was a kid and not really on the internet. What I was getting was stuff from National Geographic Kids magazine. It was like, dinosaurs now have feathers, and it's like, what do you mean dinosaurs now have feathers? That's not how dinosaurs are. But like, I very quickly just came to accept it and was like, yeah, they have feathers now. Moving on. Yeah. Also, if you want to get an area where there's always going to be new developments, Spinosaurus. I don't know what new developments are, but Spinosaurus is always getting new dinosaurs. Stuff's always being changed on what is and is not true about a Spinosaurus. Which is why it's so funny, because reptile and like dinosaur discussion channels will, as much as possible, will literally say that, look, I've been advised to not talk about the Spinosaurus, or I won't talk about a Spinosaurus, because the information is going to change so fast that their video will soon enough be incorrect, likely. But they will still talk about Spinosaurus because new stuff needs to be talked about. Amberteryx. That's probably going to be like an Archaeopteryx. What was amazing though, well, I have been to a few dinosaurs, obviously, um, a few museums of dinosaurs, but I I was walking around the geology department building at university, like 2 or 3 years ago, because and then I found out they had dinosaur stuff. Ooh, yeah, I'd love to have a prehistoric revival mod. The only thing is, I'd also be terrified of being hunted, because I can't even handle normal zombies and skeletons. So what I'd probably do is make a giant house and just stare at all the prehistoric animals. I'll just probably stare. And if I can adopt them, I will adopt them. But yeah, oh right, there was a video I was gonna talk. Ooh, as a Caparasucus, the one for the back. That's cute. Yeah. So there's this video that talks about why giant animals don't last long. Not don't last long. They last a few million. But like why they don't have this like always huge survival amount in the extinction events. I will say the dinosaurs, though, I feel survived really well, so they might be somewhat of extinction. But at the same time, their size did kill them. So I wouldn't call them an entire exception to the rule. And that is, giant animals they don't necessarily do well with changing because they can have a very specific food source. So your Paraceratherium, I think that one might have been India or something, and its extinction, I believe, I might be wrong, coincided with the arrival of the Asian elephant, trampling down forests. So elephants are very destructive and will like eat roots, uplift trees, and giant animal feeds on the top of trees. If the forest starts to go, it's got an issue. And the bigger you are, the more you need to eat of specialized stuff. And that specific thing goes bye-bye, then you go bye-bye. So that's often what happens with megafauna is if their specific food source goes, if they get outcompeted, or if there's not enough food for them as a whole. Now, I'd love to see how the past was. It's a shame we can't exactly recreate it. Honestly, I'm surprised by them if we have been able to recreate it, or ideas of it, because I could never get whatever is happening there with what they've deduced, like what the forests were like, this and that. Yeah, but dinosaurs themselves could never thrive again. They were very suited for the area that they were in because it was pretty hot, I believe. It was hot, and they, over millions of years, got to that size. And they managed to survive at least like 1 or 2 extinction events. It was obviously that one extinction event that got them, because it wasn't something they could adapt to. Spinosaurus on a skateboard. That is not happening, but it'd be cute. That would be really cute. thing. Like, a lot of people want to recreate dinosaurs, but the thing is, I could imagine us potentially cloning a dinosaur by I don't know how, but I could imagine it, but it would be a small dinosaur. Like, your, like, May Long or something. I don't know the full name of that one. It was like May Long or like May. It was like this teeny little dinosaur they found it like around China. I just remember from a National Geographic book, well, magazine. But like, I remember it was quite impressive and everything that they found such a tiny dinosaur. And something small, because the resources needed for a dinosaur just wouldn't be able to exist. One, you're not gonna actually be able to keep a T-Rex under guard. That thing is. These are really. Look, I haven't watched the Jurassic movies. I really need to. But honestly, anyone who thought that the giant dinosaur was gonna be fine in its cage was really an idiot. This is a giant dinosaur. It's gonna escape. Like, that's the thing. Thank you so much, Steve. I work really hard on the art. I realize streaming my art would probably help a little with commissions. Commissions run a little slow at times. So, let's just maybe get the exposure this way, but it's also been actually really fun. To be fair, some of it is like proper shading. Other times I am just erasing. Like this whole thing I've just been erasing. Yeah. So like here what we're doing is like I erase where the light is. You'll show me a Listosaurus? Really? I want a Listosaurus. Yeah, those things were like everywhere at one point, I heard. Yeah, there is a really good series. It was supposed to, I forgot what the channel was called. But what he was doing like this whole history of the Earth series, and like he would evolve every time that they reached a new time period. Yeah, I just wouldn't create any huge dinosaur because, like you just said, hard to kill. An elephant could even be a little hard to like tranquilize or whatever. I am sorry, but if anyone, you're not taking, you're gonna need like a mega huge gun or like a lot of powerful things if you want to take out a Brachiosaurus. You're just not taking those out. You should never create anything or like bring back anything that you don't have the capacity to manage. And that's the thing. There is bringing back extinct animals can really throw out the balance in like ecology. You don't think it, but the balance can be quite fragile, and things can be overturned pretty easily sometimes by just like one animal being gone. Like there was recent stuff I started finding out now about the gray wolf population. Obviously, after they were hunted a lot, they shrunk. That they were keeping the coyote population very much in check. So what happened was, ooh, Spinosaurus. That video might be out of date like the next 2 years, exactly. But still, if you want, you can put it in the Discord in the extinct and prehistoric channel that we just made. We made it for a good reason. Because I want more documentaries and I want to share my documentaries. Spinosaurus is just a very fascinating dinosaur especially when they start to add more, like the baryonyx. Okay, that's the only other Spinosaur I'm aware of. My memory isn't known to be the greatest. But I don't I do remember there was this whole attempt. There was a whole thing where people were like, "Oh, we're gonna clone a mammoth." I do not recommend cloning a mammoth. That's what I'm gonna say. Is like I don't think it's a good idea to clone a mammoth. Although at the same time, I think how what could be. I mean, if they roamed Alaska, Alaska doesn't necessarily have a lot going on there, so that might be okay. But you think something's going to be okay to introduce, and then it's going to go on a rampage, it's going to mass produce, and then you're going to get some chaos there. At the same time, big animals have a very slow reproductive cycle. And that's also why you had issues. That's also why the big animals tend to go extinct a lot sooner. Like, you get your huge animals, and they might only have one child. They might have like two children in their whole life, maybe even one. And they might spend 2 years, like as much as 2 years, being pregnant. And then they'll spend a large amount of time raising that one kid. Which is why they don't tend to. Why, if you start taking them out, it's a huge impact. Same with like your blue whales, sperm whales, everything like that. The things that are probably okay are your giant squid and your colossal squid, because no one ever sees them. Hi, Daisy. Here's my little puppy. Daisy. Oh, here's my cutest little puppy. Yes, baby girl. Oh, I still. But I wasn't talking about other dogs. Wait, what's going on there? Oops. Oh, come on. Okay, good thing I noticed that this time, or else someone would have actually helped me. There we go. Now we're going to add some extra shadow. And this one's coming up nicely. That was meant to be purple, but we can change that later. I figured out adjustment stuff. With my last piece I did, I managed to figure out I can just use the new adjustment filter layer, and I can adjust them and change my colors. I think I'm also gonna put my recent art in the Discord that I've done. It's some really nice stuff. I also recently managed to make a Discord banner for someone, so now I know I can make a Discord. But I did not myself because I don't have Snapchat. I know the intensity of that. Oh, thank you, Jeff. I'm certain you are gonna get good, but you're doing great with your progress. And it can also be good to figure out techniques when you watch other people. Oh, bye, Jess. It was nice seeing you. Good luck with your meeting. Hi, Daisy. Daisy, you want some puppy? Good girl. Who's my good puppy? Who's my good puppy? No, that's not working out. Okay, I think that might be enough for today streaming, but I'm gonna see if I can stream tomorrow. It's been amazing seeing all of these shinies. Let's see, what do we have? That looks cute. Goodbye. I love you all.